He who boasts, let him boast in our sovereign Lord. And brothers, when I came to you, I did not come with the words of a superior or of wisdom, proclaiming the public testimony of God. For I decided not to know anything among you except Jesus, the Anointed One, and Him crucified. And I was with you in weakness and in phobia, with much frightful shaking. And my message and my proclamation was not with persuasive words of men's wisdom, but in the exhibition of the Spirit and of divine power, that your faith should not rest in men, that your faith should not rest in men, but in the dynamic power of God. But we utter wisdom among them that are fully grown, yet not the wisdom of this age, nor of the rulers of this age that are coming to nothing. But we utter the wisdom of God as a now manifested secret, once fully hidden, which God predestined before this age for our glory, which none of the rulers of this age had known. For if they had known, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. But, as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, neither has it risen up into the heart of man, the things which God has made ready for them that sacrificially love him. But God has removed the veil for us by his Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. For what man knows the things of man except the Spirit of man which is with him, which is in him? In the same manner, no man knows the things of God except for the Spirit of God. Now we have obtained not the world's spirit, but rather God's Spirit, so that we might know the things that have been graciously delivered to us by God. These things even so we utter, not in the instruction of a wise man's teaching, but in the Holy Spirit's teaching, spiritually weighing out spiritual things to spiritual men. But the biological man does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they are an absurdity to him, and he cannot perceive them because they are spiritually discerned. But the spiritual man discerns all things, yet he is discerned by no one. For who has known the mind of our sovereign Lord, that he might arrange his thoughts? But we now have the mind of Christ. And I, brothers, was not able to speak to you as to spiritual men, but as to carnal men, as babies in the Anointed One. I fed you milk and not food, for you are not yet able. And even now you're not yet able, for you are still carnal. For where there is to be found among you boiling jealousy, quarrels, and uprisings, are you not carnal, and conduct yourselves as men? For so long as one says, I am of Paul, and another one says, I am of Apollos, are you not carnal? So who is Paul, and who is Apollos? But servants through whom you believed, even as the Lord Almighty granted to everyone. I planted, and Apollos watered, but it's God who brought forth the growth. Therefore, neither he that plants is anything, neither he that waters is anything, but God who brings forth the growth. Now he that plants and he that waters are one, but everyone shall obtain his own wage according to his toilings. For we are laborers together with God. You are God's farm fields, or God's building, an architectural construction, according to God's free gift, which he has granted unto me in the manner of a wise chief architect. I have laid down the foundation, and a different one builds on it. But let everyone beware how he builds on it. For no man can lay down a different foundation than what is laid down, which is Jesus, the Anointed One. Now if any man build on this foundation with gold, silver, precious gems, timber, gardens, or stocks of grain, every man's toilings shall be made to shine, for the day shall make it plain, because it shall be revealed by fire. And fire shall test every man's toilings. If any man's toilings endure, which he has built, he shall obtain a wage. If any man's toilings are completely burnt up, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be rescued, as though through fire. Can you not see that you are the innermost sanctuary of God's temple, and the Spirit of God has made his home in you? If anyone desecrates God's inner sanctuary, God shall desecrate him. For God's inner sanctuary, which all of you are, is holy. Let no man beguile himself. If anyone among you supposes he is wise in this age, let him become a moron in order that he might become wise. For the wisdom of this world is stupidity to God. For it is written, he entraps the wise in their own trickery. And also it is written, the sovereign Lord perceives the inner thoughts of the wise, that they are worthless. Therefore, let no man boast in men. For everything is yours, whether Paul or Apollos, or the Anointed One, or the world, or life, or death, or things now present, or things to come. All are yours, and you are Christ, and Christ is God's. Let a man in this manner reckon us as the under-oarsmen, or the subordinates of the Anointed One, and the estate managers of the now manifested secrets of God. Moreover, what is sought for in an estate manager is that a man be found trustworthy. But in my case, it is a very small detail if I should be judged by you or even by the judgment of men. Indeed, I do not even judge myself, for I do not see anything against myself. Nevertheless, I am not rendered innocent by this. Rather, he who judges me is the Lord. So, judge nothing before the appropriate time, until the sovereign Lord arrives, and who will shed rays of light on the secret things of darkness, and who will reveal the intentions of the hearts. And at that time every man shall be granted his praise from God. Moreover, brethren, along these lines I have remodeled myself and Apollos for your sakes, that you might figure out, through us, not to harbor views beyond what is written, so that none of you are puffed up, one against the other. For who is distinguishing any one of you, or setting any one of you apart? Moreover, you possess something. Who possesses something that he did not accept? Now, if you did accept it, why do you brag as though you had not accepted it? Already you are in a glutted state. Already you are full of wealth. You have reigned as kings without us. And I wish to God that you did reign, that we might co-reign with you. For I suppose that God is openly exhibiting us, the apostles, ultimately condemned to death. For we have become like a theater show, watched by the world and by angels and by men. We are morons for the Anointed One's sake, but you are wise and cautious in the Anointed One. We are without strength, but you are full of power and noble. yet we are of no value and worthless. Until now, this very day, we are even hungry and thirsty, and are poorly clothed, and are punched, and are homeless. And we are worn by toil, working with our own hands. And being vilified, we bless. Being persecuted, we endure. Being defamed, we entreat. We have become the scraped off crud of the world. Like all the discarded scrapings to this day. I'm not writing this to disrespect you, but as my beloved sons, I'm gently cautioning you. For though you have 10,000 tutors in the Anointed One, you do not have many fathers. For in Jesus, the Anointed One, I have fathered you through the good news. So I exhort you, be imitators of me. Because of this, I have dispatched Timothy, who is my beloved son and trustworthy in the Lord, who shall remind you of my ways in the Anointed One, just as I teach in every place and in every church. Now some of you are puffed up, as though I'm not coming to you. But I will come to you quickly, if the Lord wills, and I will see not the words of those who are puffed up, but the dynamic power. For the reign of God is not in words, rather it is in dynamic power. What do you wish? Shall I come to you with a stick, or in sacrificial love, and in a spirit of gentleness? It is heard everywhere that there is sexual immorality among you. And this sort of sexual immorality is not even spoken of among the Gentiles, that one has taken his father's wife. And you are puffed up? And indeed, not rather wail? That he who committed this deed might be removed from among you?